take me to the beat. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll, I like the give and go, 'cause it's basketball. Mr. Curtis.
Well, it looks like your season has come to an end tonight. What do you have to say about the way this series turned out?
It's awful, man. I didn't come into this league expecting to get rolled over in the playoffs like this. I'm not used to losing, and I don't have a good way to deal with it. The only thing that I can tell you is that I'm going to come back next year with a chip on my shoulder and an even better game to match it. I'd be in the gym right now if they weren't making me sit here and talk to you guys. It just wasn't a good way to end the season. All right, we done here, man? I'm out.
All right, so that was the last press conference of my first year after we got bounced from the playoffs from the Bulls and we got trounced. Went 5 games, though. The game that we won, I had 35 points, and it was the most minutes I actually played in the playoffs, but we got bounced pretty badly. All the games that we lost in the playoffs to the Bulls, I think we lost by 20-plus points. It was pretty ridiculous. But just to paint the picture of what happened last year and to the point to where I was just like, fuck it, I'm done. I am moving on. I really don't care anymore. After the All-Star break, we won our first game after the All-Star break, which was against Golden State. That was the last game I played as a starter. That was the last time I played any kind of worthy minutes. After that, I pretty much averaged 12 minutes a game. Before that, I was averaging 41 minutes a game. And I pretty much went from the 7th leading scorer in the league to all the way down to I think like 12th because I wasn't playing that much. And it was kind of ridiculous. We had 37 wins after the All-Star break, and we ended up with 45 total wins before the playoffs. So we only got 8 more wins through the month of March and then the half a month of April. So a month and a half, we only won 8 games total. And we went from locking up the 3rd seed. We pretty much had the 3rd seed locked up. And we could have probably made a run at the 2nd seed, but we probably wouldn't have got it. We probably would have missed it by a game or two by the way we were playing before the All-Star break. And we went from the 3rd seed to the 5th seed. And, of course, the first round of the playoffs were against the Bulls, and we just got murdered. I think, like I said, the closest game or something was, or at least of all of our losses, I think we lost by 20 plus points each game. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous. The only game that we won is the most minutes I played, which was something around like 28 minutes, and I ended up scoring like 35 points that game. And that's the only game that we won. And going into the season, as you saw some of the clips before, that I requested a trade, that I was frustrated, and I am frustrated that you spent your time pumping up your guy, making him ratings-wise, the 3rd best player on the team. And even during the season, I was probably the best player on the team because of the consistency level that I was going at in February. I mean, I was the player of the month of February, the rookie of the month of February. I mean, I had a player of the week in that month as well. I mean, I was tearing it up. And we were winning games. We were winning the majority of our games. I think in the whole month of February, I believe we only lost like 3 games that month. And of course, then I get trounced to the bench. And coming up here, you'll see what the Knicks fans think of my trade book.
They get a hand on it.
For the most part, they're doing a nice job of taking care of the ball, though.
And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send him to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
And he knocks down the first one. For the Knicks, Hoffman comes in for Amari Stoudemire. And Sam Young is subbed in for Jordan. And the Pacers also changing it up. Josh McRoberts comes in for Roy Hibbert. And Tyler Hansbrough subbed in for Tyrese Thomas. And so he makes both from the line.
So even before the season ended last year, I pretty much made up my mind that I wanted to trade. Because if a coach is going to be that fucking stupid to put me on the bench for someone who's rated lower than me, I'm just not going to have it. You know, you earn your spot, you pump up your player, and then they bench you. Well, I was going to give it another shot, and you know, I checked for my second season. You know, I checked out who was going to be the starter and everything like that, as you saw in some of the clips prior to these. And you know, I checked them because Billups was moving on. It was the last deal, or it was the last year of his deal. So I knew he was moving on, so I figured, okay, I'm going to be named starter just because of the fact that I have more playing experience, and on top of that, my rating. And of course, I checked it out and checked who the starters were, and Jeff Teague is starting above me, which is just ridiculous. And then I was the sixth man. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to deal with this kind of crap anymore. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. And all my years, of course, I chose the three teams, and you saw them, which were the Pistons, Clippers, and the Miami Heat. In all my years of playing 2K, I never played with my favorite team, which is the Detroit Pistons. So I figured this will give me the opportunity, hopefully, that I'll get traded to them and actually play for Detroit. And I know what you're probably thinking. It's like, okay, you're fucking stupid. You're crazy to do that because you'll have Melo and, you know, Amari to play with. But, you know, at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna deal with a dumbass coach who can't put 2 and 2 together. You know, 2 and 2 to him is probably 3, and it's not 4. So I'm not gonna deal with that kind of crap. I'm not gonna kind of deal with this type of offense anymore, where it's just kind of like one-dimensional. You know, basically, you know, you can, you know, it's nice to kind of call your own plays or do what you ever want to do, but I mean, come on. I mean, when it gets to the point to where you have so much inconsistency, you know, even at the beginning of the second year, I checked all the free agent signings, and there was no significant free agent signings whatsoever. I mean, what the Knicks really needed the most is what they have now. They have Tyson Chandler. They have a big man in the middle who can man the paint, who can get rebounds, who can play defense, who can block shots, and who can score a little bit. That's what they needed the most. And of course, they didn't go out there and get it. They got Emeka Okoro off of free agency. That was the biggest free agent sign they had. And on top of that, their cap room, they had $6 million more to spend. And they didn't bother spending it. They didn't bother going out there and getting a defensive center, because that's what they needed. They needed a defensive center or rebounder to really, because our rebounding was horrid last year. Amari couldn't hardly get rebounds. I mean, I think Melo was second on the team in rebounds, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, Landry Fields was awful, and he was off the team, but they didn't really upgrade on that either. We have basically like a rookie starting at the shooting guard, and you know, I don't know what he's doing. He's pretty much like a ball hog. He pretty much shoots every time he gets the ball. And of course, that's the Knicks offense. It's basically you pass once and you shoot the ball. And you know, it's just kind of frustrating to play with these guys and to play with this. And I know it'll probably be just as frustrating if I play with the Pistons, but as long as, you know, at least I'll be happy playing with the Pistons because they are my favorite team. And you know, it'll be kind of a good challenge rather than trying to play with a big three or whatever, and you know, kind of like just tiptoeing myself to an NBA championship, to where it might be a little bit of a challenge. Now, the only team that was actually interested in me was the Timberwolves, which would be kind of funny if I went to them, because they have Ricky Rubio, who was like second in the voting on Rookie of the Year, which I got anyway, and you know, it'd be just kind of funny if I got on that team, but would love to go to the Pistons. I chose the Clippers because I checked out what they were doing, and of course, this is this is still from the NBA lockout update, I guess. So none of the players are updated. I chose the Clippers because of Griffin. They still have Eric Gordon, which would be a great shooting guard. And then, of course, Jordan in the middle. You know, like I said, I love those big men in the middle who play defense, get rebounds, and all that stuff. And I chose the Heat just for the fuck of it. I said, fuck it, if I'm going to, you know, pump up my stats a little bit and stuff like that and make it easier on myself, why not play with the Heat and play with LeBron and Wade and stuff like that. But anyway, here's the end of everything. Here comes the press conference. It's kind of funny. Later.
starting to hear talk that you could possibly be traded to one of a few different teams. Are you aware of any of this?
Word gets around, man. But if that's the biggest piece of news you've gotten out of the rumor mill, then you're seriously missing out. I got some really good inside info that I'm sure you'd love to hear. Except I'm not one to be spreading rumors, so, you'll just have to find it out for yourself. Just know it ain't got nothing to do with me, all right?
Oh, so now I'm a starter? Fuck you, New York.